Oftentimes, we'll have clients come in and discuss that their spouse has been cheating on them and are curious as to what impact that has on asset division. Frankly, it doesn't have much unless there's some sort of dissipation of marital assets using marital funds that belong to the marriage. In those situations, it wouldn't matter. But the biggest misconception is that because they're cheating, that you're entitled to certain more assets. And that is just certainly not the case. Nebraska is a no-fault state, and as a no-fault state, we don't have to prove that anyone acted wrong. As long as the parties believe there are irreconcilable differences and the marriage is irretrievably broken, that's the grounds to get a divorce, because it is a partnership. As long as one party feels that the marriage cannot proceed, it's going to likely end in a divorce. Oftentimes, people will ask if their partner's cheating on what impact does that have on the custody arrangement? And it varies. However, generally, you and your spouse are trying to obtain a divorce. That means the marriage will end ultimately, and you're going to go see other people, most likely. Therefore, when it comes to custody, there's a big misconception that if your party is with someone else, that the child cannot be around. However, when custody is determined, and let's say in this situation, both parties are awarded joint physical custody, there's a presumption that each party will do what's in that child's best interest. And that's going to involve them moving on in their life and surrounding the children with people that you may or may not agree upon. However, there are obviously situations where this is not the case, where it could be bad influences and that can affect the child's growth. In those situations, we can certainly address and bring it to the court's attention if necessary. But the biggest misconception is that a spouse having a new girlfriend or a new boyfriend or whatnot is actually going to affect the custody determination, whereas short answer is generally no, unless other exceptions come into play. I often get asked about whether cheating will affect spousal support, and generally it will not, because it's a no-fault state here in Nebraska. There's many factors that can affect a spousal support award. Typically, cheating is not one of them. The contributions a party has made to the marriage, those contributions, as well as sacrifices, can help determine whether spousal support is an award that you should be entitled to. Cheating does not have much of an effect on child support. Child support is based on the guidelines put in place by the Supreme Court, your income, and the various deductions you may be entitled to under it. We put it in this calculator, this algorithm, and it spits out the amount. So one of the misconceptions I see is that cheating spouses may have to pay more child support, which that's simply not the case. Some factors that will affect child support are the parties' respective incomes, their contributions to retirement, health insurance coverage. For example, if a parent is paying health insurance on behalf of the minor children, they may be in some cases entitled to a dollar-for-dollar credit against their original child support obligation. In other words, providing health insurance coverage for the minor children is, in a sense, paying child support for that child. However, we can go through all those things when we determine the appropriate child support calculation when you come in and meet with one of our attorneys. Those were just a few of the myths regarding cheating in a marriage and what effect it may have on the divorce proceedings. If you have any questions, please don't hesitate to contact us at Husker Law.